It was my health that led me here, and it's my health that will keep me here or lead me to make choices if I have to.
Much of the marriage decision may no longer belong to you at all. You may desperately want another chance. You might want reconciliation, but you don't get to make that decision alone anymore. You lost that right when you made your choices.
Anger wants to make decisions. Desperation wants to make decisions. Absolute fear and shame wants to make decisions. And when these emotions are leading the way, you are headed in the wrong direction.
The money is not in the mistake. The money is you looking at what happened in you that allowed that thing to even be present. That's when God starts working in the heart of a man.
If your healing is dependent on whether someone chooses you, you're still building your life on someone else's decision.
Welcome back to Lights On. Laura Lentz with your American sweatshirt. If you're only listening audibly, you're missing out. Lozzie is finally representing
What
the
sort of flag
greatest.
is this, though? Is it just a
I
made-up
don't think
American flag?
I think it's just a creative remix.
Okay. I like it.
Welcome. We're glad you're here. Lights On podcast. Laura Lentz, Carl Lentz. If you're new, we love you. Glad you're here. Glad you found this. If you found it, it means you're interested in relationships, living a healthier life, and getting some wisdom on some angles and perspectives, and we're good at giving that. And we started a convo last week that was huge. We got a lot of feedback about the subject matter. And if you didn't catch it, go back, listen to the episode, because we handle this giant conversation about should you stay, should you go after betrayal? And we elevate with a better question. Are you healthy? Have you ever considered that? That's more important.
Which you're not.
That's
secret.
more important than the marriage conversation. So today we're going to pick it up right there where we left off. So again, to recap, when people say, I don't know what to do, should I stay or should I go? We point to our reality that works for us, and pretty much anybody else who subscribes to it, is to slow that down. The urgency to rush reconciliation, get it out the window. The pressure of image and wondering what people think, get it out the window. Are you okay? That's the question. And once that gets answered, opens you up to a whole lot more life-giving, powerful opportunities. So we challenged the biggest assumption last week, love, that people make after betrayal. We talked about the hardest choice is not staying. The hardest choice is not leaving. The hardest choice is becoming healthy enough to know which path exactly is right for you. And again, 10-second recap. We talked about health before marriage, why urgency is the worst decision maker of all time, and why the condition of the person making the decision, that matters more to us. We believe that matters more to God. We believe it matters more to your future. It's the person making the decision. And so today we're going to talk about the next step. So lean in. If you need help on this, if you're wondering what's right, if you've ever found yourself asking the horrific question, should I stay or should I go? We're going to give you a framework that we use and have used a lot to help you think through that question with more clarity, more wisdom, and a whole lot less pressure. Lord knows, to add pressure on top of pressure just breaks the back of any hope. So how on earth do you begin to find out the right way to go about this? And I want to give you right off the bat a more helpful question to answer. So instead of asking which choice is harder, staying or going, and we picked that apart last week because a lot of people have really weird views on that, like the way we hold up people who make these certain decisions. No, both of these decisions have a high cost. It's like a toll booth, and you're not going to get around paying for whatever you choose. So what's easier, staying or going? They both cost you a lot. And one of the biggest misses that we found people make on this all the time is assuming one road is painful and one road is painless. There is no painless road when you try to overcome infidelity. There are only different prices attached to all these vital choices. So that framework that we've used, it's been really helpful. It's actually, you would say, Laws, that this is how we got here. And if you're wondering where here is, if you're watching, you're brand new, perfect. We are finally perfect. We've arrived. How did we get here? How did we get to a place where you can look at the options in front of you in a healthy way? and not make a decision based off all the wrong factors.
Yeah, we've learned to call this the 2-decision reality.
Yep.
Most people think they only have one decision to make after infidelity, and that's stay or leave. We think there are actually 2. Decision number 1 you have to face and embrace is, will I become healthy? And we covered that last week, and it's worth repeating.
It is, for sure.
That's the question you have to ask yourself honestly. The quality of your life, your soul is at stake, so you have to take that question seriously. And maybe you don't even know what that looks like. That makes it even more important.
Yes.
Do I even know what a healthy me looks like?
Lights On is proud to partner with God Behind Bars, one of the greatest organizations I've ever seen in my life. Talk about bringing light into dark places. If you are interested in being a part of any movement that really matters, please go check out God Behind Bars today online. Go check out all that they have. Jake and his team, they're changing lives every single day. I'm so proud that this podcast is attached to them. And if you're interested, how can I bring light to somebody today? Go check out God Behind Bars. You can write letters, you can volunteer, you can be a part of something that really changes lives for many. God Behind Bars, check it out today. That question, babe, is a winner. And you're gonna need help on that because the answer is gonna be no. Like if you would ask me if I was healthy before, I'd be like, yeah, pretty healthy. You have to change your frame completely. And then our decision number 2, because remember, it's the 2-decision way to go about this. Not just one. Should I stay? Should I go? 2. Am I willing to get healthy? And then the better way to ask the question is, what do I want to do with this marriage? What do I want to do with it? Because here's the common problem. Let me save you hours of therapy. Most people try to answer decision number 2, what do I want to do with this marriage, while completely ignoring decision number 1. Am I sane? Am I healthy? Am I stable? And that's why they get stuck, because it's not the wisest version of you making these calls. And I am so glad that I got the advice to not make a decision on what I was going to do in my role in this right away. I got fantastic people around me who just said, slow down, block out the noise before you try to decide even how to approach Laura, how to approach any of this. Get yourself together and get some help, get some rest, get some wisdom, because everything you know has been turned upside down. So if you can listen to this and you can slow down, give yourself permission to do exactly that. It's challenging, but you will be really, really grateful. And one of the best ways to explain the state of somebody in our situation is use the easy visual of somebody who's drunk and trying to drive. We've all had that friend who's like, I'm actually fine. I do this all the time. I am a fantastic drunk driver. I can get home. I do this all the time. And you have to sit there with your friend and go, nah, actually, you're not fine. You matter too much. So I'm going to go ahead and drive you home. You're not capable of driving. Give me the keys. That is a great picture of what it looks like in the body, regardless of who caused it. When your whole life, your emotional architecture has been shattered, everything you know, it feels like you're drunk when your life explodes. You simply should not be driving if you've been drinking.
Yeah.
You simply should not be driving if you've been betrayed or betrayed somebody else. That is a huge memo. You should not be in control of that plan. You should have all kinds of agency and be able to speak to it. But at the end of the day, how on earth are you going to get yourself out of the mess you created? Those early stages, it's time to say, if I knew, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
So let me get some wisdom. Let me get somebody else to help me.
Yeah, if you have gone through this, you know exactly what we're talking about. Anger wants to make decisions. Trauma wants to make decisions.
Ugh.
Desperation wants to make decisions. Absolute fear and shame wants to make decisions.
Yes.
Pressure. And when these emotions are leading the way, you are headed in the wrong direction. So for me, if I would not have pursued health, my trauma, it probably would have led me to stay in the wrong way.
Yeah.
And for my kids, for my family, for my security, that's exactly what would have happened.
Yeah, because that's your personality makeup.
Yeah.
Like if your trauma I must stay. Mm-hmm. I must take care of everyone else. I must make this work.
Yeah.
That's what trauma leads some people to think.
Yeah, and I'm super glad I unenrolled in that
from my trauma class,
being a leader. Because yes, I ended up staying and I'm still here, but it was my health that led me here, and it's my health that will keep me here or lead me to make choices if I have to. And that power to even say that, I would never have been able to say without getting healthy.
That's true. That's true. And I watched you. I watched your health switch. I remember the day it started to turn. And it was a different version of you showing up. And it was you trusting that I know what I want to do. There are times where it was like I knew that you wanted to kind of like give your heart back to me or trust me again, but you were like, absolutely hell no. Because I know that I don't trust myself right now. And so for me, I would have fought to save our marriage, but I'm not sure it would have been for the right reasons. I was so shattered emotionally. I think trusting anything I thought would have been foolish because my brain was literally not working correctly. Making choices from a state of your brain not being functioning is not wise. It is like going grocery shopping when you're absolutely starving. That's a great way to put it. You probably would not head straight to the candy aisle if you were content and you were full and you had your plan. You probably wouldn't just sweep through the cereal aisle and buy not one but 2 boxes of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, I know you would. Love that.
You know you don't want to be fat. You know you don't want to have high cholesterol, but you're starving. So you come home from the store like I did the other day with the wrong stuff because I was starving. In that same way, how a smart person doesn't shop while they're starving, a person who wants to live a healthy life off the back of serious pain does not make life-altering decisions while you've been almost fatally wounded.
Yeah, it's like trying to buy a house in the middle of a panic attack.
Which we've done.
When you calm down, you're like, wait, why did I buy this house? There are no bathrooms or no closets in here. Like, it's just like...
It's like trying to read a compass
while
standing in an earthquake. That's a great visual. Buying a house that I didn't, why do I have this house? Or you're trying to get your bearings while everything around you is shaking. That's how most people are making decisions right now off the back of this stuff. No grounding, no help, no support.
That's why we give our perspective that we give people to become healthy and notice what we didn't say. We didn't say become perfect.
Good. Yes.
We didn't say become fully healed. We didn't say wait 10 years. We said become healthy enough that wisdom has the primary seat at the table, and there are some stable people who can verify your decisions and become sound, not shaky and unstable.
That's key. So if you're in that spot, like one of the biggest things we had to do is make sure that our decisions align with people we trust more than ourselves at the time. Because what you do find when you deal with couples is they like hearing wisdom until it's uncomfortable.
Right.
And then it's like, we're no longer going to get advice because it's like, like, why would that be? So this is a good thing to pay attention to.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this episode and you're in the middle of this right now, maybe this conversation takeaway is not that you need a marriage decision today. Maybe the takeaway is that you need a different set of questions. And we gave some last week, and I want to add to that today some more. Maybe instead of asking, should I stay? Should I leave? Can this marriage survive?
Ooh. Yeah, ask some of these, babe.
Try asking some of these questions. Am I becoming healthier? Am I becoming more grounded? Am I becoming more honest? Am I becoming more clear? And am I making decisions from wisdom or from pain?
And again, if you just checked off those or some of those you couldn't even answer correctly, you're in the right spot. It's understandable because maybe you haven't thought of this. Maybe you've already made some of your calls. You're like, shoot, I wish I would have known. It's never too late. But now you start standing in power. It's like, you know what? I made some decisions early on that I probably wouldn't make right now.
Yeah.
And so it's better to say that than it is to just keep on playing the same song that you know isn't going to work. And so I think maybe the most important question, love, maybe we can say it like this. What would it look like for you to become the healthiest version of yourself just over the next 90 days? We briefly touched on it last week.
Yeah.
Not forever, not 10 years, not the rest of your life, the next 90 days. Because you don't have to solve your whole future today. You just need to take the next healthy step. And right away, people are like, what would that be? What would you say, love?
Maybe the next healthy step is finding a therapist.
Cannot go wrong there in that regard.
I don't know how people do it without it. Honestly, I don't know how people do it without someone that they can bounce some of this stuff off. Maybe it's joining a recovery group. which again,
You were in 37 groups.
I was in a lot of groups.
Every night, Laura's in a new thing. Like, what room are you in tonight? People married to idiots. Oh, great. Thanks for that. Great. I hope it's a good
There
meeting.
are some interesting people out there and groups, and it's really helpful. But maybe it's finally telling the truth.
Whoa. So this is huge, because if I were to say, what do you mean by that? The first healthy thing you can do sometimes is just tell yourself the truth, which
And
is the thing
somebody
you
else.
don't want to say.
Yes.
It's the feeling you don't want to share.
Yep.
It's the one that you couldn't utter because your pastor's already told you, no matter what you do, you got to stay with that man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's underneath there? That's go ahead. I'm sorry. It's a big deal to get honest with yourself.
Yeah. So telling the truth to yourself and to somebody else, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So stuff you have never said out loud, even if it sounds like it's wrong. Like, I actually don't know if I ever want to trust this person again, and the thought of starting new is really exciting to me. Or if I want to leave, but I don't know how I can find a place that I could afford. What am I going to do? What would I do and become if I leave? These are all real questions, real things that people think about, but only some actually give voice to that, so they can figure out what's real, what's pain, and what has power. And, maybe it's as clear as simply deciding that your healing matters.
This episode of the Lights On podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. So for some people, summer is their favorite time of the year. We would probably agree. Vacations, longer days, family time. For other people, it can feel really overwhelming. And before you know it, you're counting down the days until life feels normal again. What we've learned is that thriving does not happen by accident. How are you doing? What do you need? What's helping you stay healthy, grounded, and connected during this season? And that's one of the reasons therapy can be so valuable. It can help you better understand your needs and feel more confident in setting boundaries and create a version of summer that actually feels good instead of simply trying to get through it. So BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform. 30,000 therapists and more than 6 million people have been served globally. And they help match people with their therapists based on their needs and preferences. So if the fit isn't right, you can switch to a different therapist from any of their recommendations at any time. It's a beautiful option. So sign up today and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lightson.
And if that sounds simplistic, it is, and it should be, and it's powerful. Why? Why does that matter? Because if you decide your healing matters, what does that mean? It means there are actions that have to follow that, because your healing matters. If your healing doesn't matter, then your marriage matters, and then your kids matter, and then you're still last on the totem pole. So we're trying to reverse that order. And I think for the way I hold this, sometimes people simply need permission to slow down. And I pray this episode gives somebody permission to slow down, permission to breathe, permission to stop treating urgency like wisdom. And what you often hear is, for instance, I'm so worried about my kids. I have to give them answers and some direction and some hope. They don't deserve this. And you are exactly correct. They don't deserve it. They do need all those things. But do you know what your kids need way more than an answer about what's next? They need a parent that is not dying inside, who has just been crushed further and now is not taking the time to heal and lead them from that place. And then setting themselves up for setting the whole family up for further pain, because you never took the time to get healed. So I do not push back on that longing as a parent to make things right. I have been there, but the hard news is that the damage has been done. It's happening with your kids. So the best thing you can do for your kids is finally get to you and see what happened.
Yeah, so the damage has been done by infidelity to your kids. It unwinds over time anyway. But even if you do give them this brave front, like we're all good, like we're fine, they are smarter than you think. They internalize more than you think and listen closely. They are more resilient than you think.
That's true.
I think we forget that with kids. We want to protect them a lot.
We do.
And it's obviously what we need to do. But so when it comes to the kids, you're going to have to trust that although it might remain very messy for a little bit, you're going to take care of yourself, and that will lead to a better parent in the long run.
That's really helpful, Love. I think hearing it from you carries a million times more weight than me in that regard, because you're the best mom that you could ever be. And I watched you at times say, they're just not going to be okay for a second. I've got to keep my sanity.
Yeah.
I've got to figure this out. And now where we sit, it is a result of you doing what we're telling people to do here. Like, you had to make that choice. And I did too, to a degree. I've had to really eat a lot to go, I can't fix what I did to my kids in a day. I got to go long play here. And because the impact on the kids is long, like you said, it's long term. When they do start getting honest about what has happened, the you that's hearing it, if you listen to what we're saying, the healthy you can give them actual wisdom.
Yeah.
Not answers to their questions that are just as unhealthy as your choices were. I mean, I'll make it super real. Even in real time, one of our daughters just recently has started to process feelings about what I did years ago, 6 years ago, since all that stuff went down with us. She realized she never really sat in what happened.
Right.
Because she rushed into caretaker mode. And she told me something recently that was very hard for me to hear about how she feels about me. And I promise you, in that moment, I was so grateful that I am consumed daily with the work of trying to get better, because I was in a place to give her a helpful answer in that moment, not a wounded dad answer trying to save my image or deflect or make myself feel better. I was able to be a healthy dad. And that's because we did the health thing first.
Yeah.
So if I just focused on how Ava's doing, how Charlie's doing, how Roman's doing, and like the first year or two after your kids go through this with you, they don't know how to articulate anything. It's gonna come out later. So the question now is, who's the parent standing there when they do start talking? Is it the same broken you that never fixed anything? Or is it a new face? Is it a new version? Is it a new person waiting to embrace these things? And that's a huge deal that I want you to hear me, especially the dads out there. You gotta swallow the guilt of what has happened and go to work. Go get yourself ready, because your son might not talk to you. Your daughter might give you an answer that's not real. It's all good, Dad. It's all good. I love you and Mom. I promise you, there are things that are dropping in their spirit. And when they are ready to bring it to you, are you going to be the healthy you?
Right.
Because if you're the broken you, you're going to make it worse. We talk to kids all the time who've tried to be honest with their parents, and their parents are still, well, your dad is an idiot. Well, your mom pushed me to that, son. So just so you know, there's two sides to every story. And I know you're mad at me, but you're. That is a broken man giving broken answers to a broken heart. And it's not fair. You take the time to get yourself in a place of real healing. Trust me, when that day comes, when God taps your shoulder, and there's a moment for you to bring some life back to your family, you'll be grateful for the hard yards that you did. Lights On is proud to partner with Wonder Project. Wonder Project can be your new entertainment home on Prime Video. It's the first place to go when you want courageous stories that inspire hope and restore faith in things worth believing in. The stories we let into our homes, they matter. We know this. They shape how we see the world, which is why being intentional about what you watch it is so worth it. Finding entertainment that actually reflects your faith and your values used to feel like a step down, a compromise. Every time, but Wonder fixes that finally. Original series and films like The House of David, It's Not Like That, Sarah's Oil, plus curated titles added every single month, all in one place. So all my fellow parents out there, listen up. No more endless scrolling and debating about what to watch. Wonder makes it simple with content that is already safe and still incredible. So family show watching as a crew just got a little bit easier. To get started, it takes about 30 seconds. Open Prime Video, go to subscriptions, add Wonder Project, and you're done. No new app, no new login. Start your free trial today.
Yeah, and I love reminding people with this comfortable frame and way to hold all of this. Yeah. To my friends out there reeling from this, the goal right now is not to become a person who stays. The goal is not to become a person who leaves. The goal is to become a healthy person. That's the goal. Then you make healthy decisions, because healthy people make better decisions, and those choices create better futures. And that's the work.
Yeah.
That's the invitation, and that's where we would start.
Yeah, that's a lot already.
Yeah.
And I think to my friends who are on the other side of the table, And yes, there's always a random person who's like, you guys always talk like as if like guys are the
and
cheater.
the girls don't
Hey,
do it.
hey, we get it. We get
know.
it. Very often, it's not the woman cheating. It does happen, but if you're listening, and we're using
from our
we're
experience.
using the best broad stroke we can on this.
Yeah.
If you are a man and you are listening to this podcast and you have shared some of the road that I've been honest about, when you have broken your vows and you have destroyed a lot, this is one of the hardest truths to hear. So I'll just give it to you straight, and it matters. Much of the marriage decision may no longer belong to you at all. You may desperately want another chance. You might want reconciliation. You might desperately want your spouse to stay, but you don't get to make that decision alone anymore. Mm-hmm. You lost that right when you made your choices. Here's the good news. What you do get to do is decide whether or not you will become healthy. That is still on you. I've seen guys go the other way and they try to change to save their marriage. And then when the marriage doesn't go how they want, they basically go the other way. And you know what they do when they do that? They simply prove that's exactly who you've been the whole time. You are not a man that made choices that you regret and you're going to fight for the best you. You didn't get your way, and now you're going to lean all the way into who you've always been. You were not changing because you needed to. You were changing because you thought there was a result that you wanted and you didn't get it. That's not healing. That's more lying. That's more performing. So for anybody who's like, well, I mean, I can't force my wife to come back to the table, so I'm not even interested. I don't even talk to guys about what their wife or betrayed spouse is or isn't doing. And simply, what are you doing?
Right.
Because whether she leaves you or not, you're awful. Like if I put myself in those shoes, like whether you stayed with me or not, if I didn't fix some of these broken things, I'm just a fresh broken in the next round of life. So if you hear me today and you want to reject that and get healthy, regardless of what happens in your marriage, here are some questions for you. And to all the amazing wives out there, this is one that you can probably send to him. You can send him, here's a podcast from somebody you might relate to, because it's not you asking these questions, it's me. And this is exactly, if we were to hang out and have coffee, this is exactly the questions I've given to myself that I would give to you so I can save you time, because you're worth it and your marriage is worth it and your life is worth it. That's the key here. So here are the questions I want you to consider. And these are Laura approved. And this is one for the wives who are waiting for their husbands to do something with it.
Yes.
You don't get to wait around for her to make her decision with your same broken, dusty self. There's a lot. Here are the questions I want you to start kicking around in your own life. Am I willing to get radically honest about what led me here? Big one. Am I willing to stop treating the affair as the problem and start examining the road that led to it? It was just one time. It wasn't just one time. The end might have been, but what led you there?
Right.
Next question. Are you willing to tell the entire truth, even if it costs you? Not the truth that's enough to get you by. It's the truth that cost you. That's the sign of an honest man.
This episode of Lights On is sponsored by Policy Genius, and there's something about this time of year with summer coming right around the corner, being around family, thinking about fun. It just reminds you what actually matters in this life, and with that does come responsibility. Taking care of your people, taking care of your kids, even your parents at times, thinking ahead, making sure things are in place. And that's why I do love what Policy Genius does. It makes getting life insurance feel straightforward instead of something you just keep putting off. Policy Genius is an online insurance marketplace that lets you compare quotes from top companies side by side for free. Their licensed team will help you find what fits you, coverage, pricing, all of it without the guesswork. This does not have to be an overwhelming thing, and that's why Policy Genius is so helpful. With them, you can see if you can find 20-year life insurance policies starting at just $276 a year for over $1 million in coverage. So head to policygenius.com to compare life insurance quotes from the top companies and see how much you could save. That's policygenius.com. It's a great time to take responsibility for the people you love the most. Check it out today.
Another one. Am I willing to give up control of the outcome? Sounds easy, very difficult. I struggled with this because I found myself vacillating between Oh, I hope I don't. There are times, here's a thought. I hope I don't go through all this change for nothing. That's a mirror moment to go, for nothing. Oh, I'm only changing because I want an outcome?
Right.
Lord Jesus, help me. That's big. Let me let go of the outcome. Let me change because it's the godly thing to do. Because this sin in my life needs to get eradicated. Because I don't want to be a man with duplicity. That's why. If she stays with me, I actually told you that. I said, I don't expect you to stay, but I will tell you, I'm going to be the best version of me living next to you wherever you go. In your next family, the next guy you choose, he better get real familiar with me because I'm going to be a healthy day. Like I had to put myself in hypotheticals that had nothing to do with your choice. And I think there's some power to it. So, I mean, that one's big because that's the dividing line. Many people are willing to get healthy if it guarantees reconciliation. Far fewer men, I'm finding, are willing to get healthy because health is the right thing. And here's a vital one. Am I willing? Are you, my friend, are you willing to stop seeing yourself as someone who made a mistake and start asking, how did I become the kind of person capable of making that mistake?
Right.
The money is not in the mistake. The money is you looking at what happened in you that allowed that thing to even be present. That's when God starts working in the heart of a man. That's a very different question. And that's the one that can open you up to your best life. Am I willing to stop defending and explaining myself? Am I willing to stop managing my image? Why would I say that? Because, my friends, there are a lot of guys who will heal until it makes them look bad. It's like, oh, I don't want to go to that meeting. Or I don't want to what if someone knows what I've done? What if they do? If you think like this, you are still living in a version of you that is toxic. You gotta face that sucker down. Am I willing to accept that remorse is not recovery? And Laura's kicking me under the table because that's the one that I think guys, I said I was sorry and I'm remorseful and show me the evidence, brother. Show me the money. So remorse is the baseline entry ticket.
Right.
But to build, it takes a lot more than remorse. Are you willing to accept wanting another chance is not evidence that you've changed? There's a lot. I'll give one more good one. If I was eye to eye with you, I'd say this. Are you willing to build a life that's healthy regardless of what's next? Because I've talked to guys who are like, well, if she doesn't come back to the table, boy, I'm going to get those dating apps cracking. It's like, my man, I hate to break it to you. You are still filled with some deadly toxins. Right. That's a big one. I want to build a healthy life regardless of what she chooses. So if you hedged on any of those questions, my friend, pause, consider, think about what I'm saying. Because the question that I just said that bugs you the most, that's probably your area. That's probably the one. That's the one that needs to get the most investment from you. So that is what I would say to everybody on the other side of the table, because the truth is when it comes to should I stay or should I go, the person who caused the rupture, they're not really involved in a lot of that. So where does that leave you? It leaves you in a place to just build yourself with a lot of hope and faith.
Yeah, I think one of the things you had to learn was that healing was your responsibility whether I stayed or left.
Yes.
Your work could not be dependent on my decision. Yeah. And your recovery could not be dependent on my decision. And your honesty could not be dependent on my decision.
Yeah.
And your growth could not be dependent.
Yeah.
Because if your healing is dependent on whether someone chooses you, you're still building your life on someone else's decision. And that's not God's plan in any way.
Yeah. That's beautifully said. We'll leave it here. And then where we'll go from here, because now we've established at least a frame for you. If you're going to track with us throughout the course of these conversations, you've heard us say a big thing on our last episode, which was that health matters before your marriage. And now you've heard the way to go about this 2 decisions. First decision is this: am I willing now to get healthy? And then what do I want to do with this marriage? And now you've got 2 people in a position to really ready to weigh the cost. And next week, we're going to talk about the cost of staying.
Yeah.
In detail.
Jesus.
So there is a romanticized version of reconciliation that is just not real, where it's like, oh, isn't God great? Look at
I love it when people say that.
Look at what God has done. Yes.
Yes.
And
amazing.
The bloody carnage marriage
The day
alone,
to day.
without this, marriage is a beautiful, beautiful complexity. But with this, we often tell people, like, I don't know if you want this. Like, you really, really, really got to weigh up the cost and there's a cost for leaving. We'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
But today, we wanted to center this around the two parts in play. So you've heard from my wife, give you detailed questions, my friends, the ladies that are listening who need that help on how to get healthy and what that means. And then we've hopefully helped you, if you're listening, my brothers, on what you can be doing while you wait. Because I've spent years there wondering, I'm not doing this so that she'll get back together with me. It would be nice. But then you start finding out, life is actually better healthy, better honest. It's better. It's more free.
Yep.
And that's our goal. So sit on that. Email us. If any of this has sparked questions or curiosity or pain, let us know. And we can try to speak to it. And speaking of freedom, shout out to God Behind Bars, Jake and the whole team at God Behind Bars. Please look at them. If you love this podcast, you're going to love that operation, giving hope and life to people who can't do anything for you. And it's one of the most powerful things anybody can ever do. You can write a letter to a prisoner. You can send money to somebody to help them feel like a human again, because often we dehumanize people that have made decisions that have cost them dearly, but God Behind Bars exists to bring hope to the darkest places. So we love you. Thank you for being part of this. Share, like, subscribe. And remember to tell people, lights on. It's where the perfect people show up for podcasts. We love you. I love you.
Love you.
Thanks for staying.
You're welcome.
Is it worth it, or what's the deal?
We'll talk about it next week.
Oh, cliffhanger. I love you. We love you. Bye.